If this political climate has you wanting to say, I've had it, this segment is for you. My guests have made a habit out of sitting down with political heavy hitters to air their petty grievances and strike the perfect balance as they discuss some of the most important issues facing our country with a heavy dose of humor.
Did you feel an added responsibility of all of the issues that were facing you as a woman? Was that something? I mean, I would think that would have to weigh heavy.
I mean, it definitely does. I am very aware of the fact that I bring to this work a life experience that gives me a very good sense of a multitude of issues that would not have been the life experience of people who previously held this position. I am sure that I'm the first vice president to, in front of the press, use the word uterus. And then I didn't stop there. I said the F word, fibroids.
Joining me now from Oklahoma City, Jennifer Welch and Angie Pumps Sullivan, the hosts of I've Had It podcast. Thank you so much. I'm very excited for you to be here. I'm not going to ask you about fibroids, but if you feel the need to talk about it, please just, jump in anytime. I do want to start, though, with that moment that we just heard. That was, of course, with Vice President Harris. It was in the spring. It was before she became the Democratic nominee for president. It was a pretty rare insight into how she thinks about the historic nature of her position. She's usually careful not to engage about that because she wants to be seen as a person who is running to be president, never mind her gender or her ethnicity. What did you make of her response?
I thought it was a great question that Angie asked her, because I think that when Roe was overturned, the entire segment of females in this country, there was just this panic, this feeling of panic and lack of rights, lack of control. And she kind of inhaled, the vice president did, and exhaled, and you could see it was heavy on her, that she felt it more because she was a woman. And so as a woman who lives in a red state with a total abortion ban, that provided comfort for me, because I wanted to know that she was carrying the weight of that on her back, because we don't have voices in our state that represent us.
Angie?
I think that what struck me most about Vice President Harris was how thoughtful she is and how carefully she picks her words, and how impressive it is to see a politician stay on point and be equal to the task on policy and personally. So I was blown away by how impressive she is.
So you mentioned this, Jennifer, that you are in Oklahoma. It's about as red as you get when you look at the political map. You are political outliers. It was pretty clear from your first answer there. My questions first are, why did you decide to delve into politics in this podcast? And what can we learn as people who are not in a red state, or those of us who live on the coasts, about the way that this election is perceived with 6 weeks out? I'll let either of you take that.
We decided, both Angie and I are diehard political junkies. And so when we started the podcast, it was broader, more like, I've had it with gender reveal parties, et cetera. But live in a red state, and you have a total abortion ban. You have an unhinged superintendent of school that is mandating that the 10 commandments be put up in classrooms. You see Project 2025 already become unraveled and unleashed in these states with no guardrails and no protections. So everybody said, don't talk about politics, Jennifer and Angie. And we thought, you know what? We're tired of everybody telling us women what we can and cannot talk about. We've had it with that. So we started talking about politics, and we're both very expressive and very opinionated. And it seemed to get the attention of some pretty big names, Kamala Harris and former President Obama. And we don't regret it for a second, because there is a lot of suffering in our state, and you see it. We're ranked 49th in education, and nobody seems to want to do anything about it. All they want to do is just spread MAGA grandiosity in the state, and it doesn't behoove its citizens.
Is there a backlash that you guys are experiencing, given where you live and what you say?
Interestingly enough, we don't get called out on the street or by people, what we do find is people come up to us like at Starbucks or restaurants and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you for saying what you're saying. We believe what you believe, but we just can't say it in public. But it wouldn't surprise anybody to know that Oklahoma City and Tulsa are not one of our bigger cities for listenership.
All right, that does not surprise me. Don't go anywhere, because coming up, Had It or Hit It, that is the whole ball game of your fantastic podcast, and we're going to play. I'm going to toss it to you to quickly explain to our viewers who are not initiated what the game is.
Okay, so we'll bring up an idea like gender reveals, and I'll say had it or hit it, gender reveals. And if you don't like it, you will say had it. And if you like it, you'll hit it.
Okay, so I'm going to actually take the reins here, if that's okay with you. And I'm going to start with news anchors using Taylor Swift lyrics in stories about her endorsement. And I'm not going to get even more specific to say news anchors who host a program on CNN between 12 and 1 Eastern called Inside Politics. For example.
I'm hitting it.
Oh, yeah?
I totally get it.
I'm hitting it. Yeah, I'm going to hit it. Yeah.
All right.
I like it. I like it.
The word weird.
Hit it.
Hit the word weird, particularly because it's getting under so much of the Republican ticket skin. They just can't stand it.
Particularly orange skin.
Okay, social media posts in all caps.
Had it up to my eyeballs. Had it.
How come?
It's, first of all, if you look at the timestamp on them, they're at 2 a.m. and then a caps lock. And I just think this is the ramblings of a very unstable individual. If your child did this, if your parent did this, you would intervene and assist them. And so it really is troubling, these caps lock 2 a.m. tweets.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, Dana, had it or hit it, breaking news.
Oh, totally hit it. There's nothing like the rush of breaking news. It's what we do, right?
Okay. I have a nuance to that. Don't you think there's a little bit of breaking news abuse?
Maybe sometimes, but we're working on it.
What our issue is, we watch 24 hours news cycle,
Right.
and so it'll be breaking news, and then 6 hours later, it's still the same breaking news. And I understand we've seen it for 6 hours, and there are new people, but it's kind of like this was breaking news hours and hours ago.
Well, it's not fully broken yet. It's still in the process of breaking.
At the slow break. I do like
motion
news.
break.
All right. Last one, Dana. Had it or hit it, government shutdowns.
Oh, totally had it. I mean, I covered the Hill for 2 decades. Done. Had it. They need to get their act together on Capitol Hill. Thank you so much. We're out of time. Really appreciate you both coming on. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.